was his other issue? So the most common was core, we found. What was the second most common? Shoulder blade, neck, scapula, right? Okay. So what do we do for the shoulder blade? What was his shoulder blade problem? Compliance issue, control issue, sequencing issue. What was it? Control. Scapula, usually more often than not, is a control issue. Okay? It either does what it's supposed to or it doesn't when you're moving. Alright? But his scapula is in relation to the trunk. So what kind of scapular work do you want to do? What was the one drill that we covered? Sorry? Which one? Yeah. Yeah, like the bear plank? That's a great one. Alright? You can definitely load it up and just learn actually how to stabilize everything as you move. Good. What other one? Physios. What test do you do for scapula? Or what exercise do you use for the scapula? None? Yes, nice man. Good. What? We're actually going to do it. Okay. Get you on your stomach. Yeah. Okay. Get you on your stomach. Get you on your stomach.
On my stomach.
Yes, please. The very first thing we did this morning, way a long time ago. Okay?
You do it.
Justin's favorite exercise. Justin wasn't going to say a word. He feels your pain, buddy. He's feeling your pain. Okay, put your hands in a push-up position. Yeah. Okay. Do you remember this drill? This is the last one we'll cover. Okay? So, lift up. Okay? Straighten the arms out. Straighten arms out. Lift them up. Lift, 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 lift. Lift, 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 lift. Put it behind you. Put it behind you. Bring your hands behind. Go. Bring them up. High, 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 high. Keep going. Keep going. Now bring it up overhead. Keep lifting them up high. Keep lifting them high. Yes. Keep it high. Keep it high. Keep it high. Right through. Right through. Right through. Right through. Keep that core tight. Keep that core tight. Keep going. Keep going. Yes. And then come back to the start. There we go. Good job, buddy. Okay. So, that was one of your shoulder exercises, right? How much effort was that? High. How many reps? 5. You're not giving him a lot to do.
Just one.
But here's the point to it. He's an endurance athlete. He needs to do that about 5,000 times in the pool. Up to 5,000 times depending on that training session. He can't even do one repetition of an exercise. That is not a good ratio. Alright? So you can see how athletes can break down. Alright? Especially endurance athletes. Like runners. Like when he goes for those long K, like that 25 to 30, that is over 10,000 strides. Alright? Rehab has to show that you're confident to actually tolerate the loading over and over and over again. He can't. He's also sweating a lot.
Yeah.
Right? Do you sweat a lot in general?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll qualify that statement. Athletes that sweat when they don't normally sweat, they're overtrained. They're into a state of sympathetic dysfunction. Alright? That's why I asked that question. So if they don't normally sweat, and they are sweating when they've done really no work whatsoever, there's a problem. And their system, chances are, is overworked. And part of his rehab, if he were sweating like this, and he does it normally, shut it down. You need to recover. Alright? There's some other things that we need to do, both at the cellular nutrition level, but also too from a metabolic standpoint. Alright? And for those that do traditional Chinese medicine, there's things that you can do for the adrenals and thyroid, more so for the thyroid. Okay? Any questions on this case? Okay.
Everybody probably took us maybe 30 minutes
30 minutes.
to go through that. So again, with this, you don't have to pick every single test. What is relevant to exercise, maybe he didn't need it, but I'm sure it'll help him either way. So you're not going to go wrong. You just don't want to have to treat something for no reason. So you can give him an exercise for no reason. That's not a horrible thing.
To help you out with the process, okay, what test do I do come tomorrow? All right, you start here. What do you think is wrong? Remember, whatever you think is the problem, then choose your tests. Okay? It's a real simple way to guide you with the protocols that you want. Eventually, over time, if you see enough of these athletes with the similar problems, you already have your protocol in place because it's you. You know what you're looking for, you know what the intent is with which you're trying to assess. So, whatever you think, you pick your tests. Alright? So that way, as Brian says, it can be overwhelming because there's so many tests, especially now for those who took both upper and lower. You have well over 35 protocols. The idea is, okay, what do I think is going on, and what test is actually going to give me some of that information? I'll take that one. Perfect. Alright? Instead of trying to memorize all these tests, okay, which one does which? Alright, which is a big problem. So, start there. What do you think? Alright? Start there, because remember, this is a thought process. I do not want you memorizing these protocols like, oh, for swimmers I do this, a weightlifter, do this. Don't do that. Alright? I want you to think it through. Alright? Based on what you think is most important and in terms of the priority, where to go with things. Based on what you do. If I'm a trainer, this is what I do. If I'm a therapist, this is what I do. If I'm a therapist and a trainer, these are the things I can do. Alright? Otherwise, right? So, in 3 weeks, what do you expect? So here's the last point to this now. So, you know what his problem is? Priority is core. What do you expect in 3 weeks from now? This is where you have to hit your mark. You're putting yourself on the spot. Because you're going to tell him, I need you to do these exercises, and in 3 weeks, what do you want to see happen? What do you want to see happen? Improvement in core control. It's simple enough. Like I say, you have a control problem. In 3 weeks, I want you to have control. Is that reasonable? Yeah. Like you just answered what you want out of them in 3 weeks from now. All right. So we give him a chance to, follow up with him in about a week and a half. Make sure he's doing it. 3 weeks from the day you've assessed him, make sure he's hitting his mark. The test is getting easier. You have more control. It's improved. All right. Or more so improving, because it's still a process of learning. All right. Not improved as in, okay, you have proficiency of the core just yet. 3 weeks is not enough time. But then you actually have something to work with. You have a seamless thought process that is logical and reasonable, with which you're actually thinking through the case with. Okay? Good. So that was awesome. That's what we got for you guys. Yes.
After 3 weeks, and then somewhat other kind of problem shows up.
So, what do? Retest.
So the same protocol or
So from there, good point. So you do your protocols again. All right. So which test would you retest with? Which ones? We're starting. Standing rotation. T4. Standing scout. So those become the 4 tests. All right. So now I did 6 or 7 at the beginning. There's only 4 that really gave me the most relevant information. 3 weeks. We do those 4 tests because they're the ones that gave me the information. Alright? I do them again. Now he's got a neck problem. Contextual interference. So then you're like, okay, I've got a neck test. Let me insert that. Remember that big caution slide I had in the lower extremity? There's going to be a strategy potentially. Your job is to make sure you can monitor A, B, that they become aware of it. He may come in 3 weeks and tell you, like, listen, every time I do this test or every time I do my exercises, man, my neck keeps kinking out on me. Alright, even better. Because what do you want out of this? You want them to become aware of their own problems. If they need to rely on you, then there's a bigger problem. They're not paying attention. Alright? So, at that 3 week mark, it's either things are on track, continue, or you get derailed a little bit and we need to address some of those other issues potentially, which can happen. That's not a bad thing because he's in his off season still. Okay? So you have some room. If you're in season, that's a problem. Because now you're on the clock now in terms of getting them back. Alright? But at the same time too though, be prepared for that. But you tell them that in 3 weeks this is what I expect to see. Improved core, but you actually may end up with potential other issues that were on our list. Maybe a core, maybe shoulder blade. They're like, okay, but I need you to do this role, but I need you to pay attention to what the shoulder and the shoulder blade and the neck are doing, so that way they don't become problems. Now you actually have a better game plan. Okay? Good. And the last thing, what is the goal of the exercise? Number one goal of an exercise. What's that? Sorry? Rolling? Sorry. Goal. What's the goal of the exercise? That's the third part. What's that? No, in general. What's the priority number one of an exercise? Pay attention. They know what they're doing. Pay attention. If you're paying attention, you can do what? Fire everything. If you can fire everything, you can gain control or whatever other attribute you need to get out of that exercise. Okay? So what's your instruction to him? I need you to pay attention to the following. And you give him a list of things that he needs to be aware of. So that way in 3 weeks, there's less likelihood of an issue. Okay? Pay attention, turn everything on, and then acquire what it is that you need out of the exercise. Core control, scapular control, compliance, coordination, whatever that attribute may be. Okay? Don't do exercise for the sake of just getting that attribute of control, strength, size, whatever it may be. Don't do that. Because they're going to turn their brains off. Athletes want to do as little work as possible so they can get back to their training. Patients do the same thing. Alright? Just give me out of pain, I don't care. The system doesn't work that way. The process doesn't work as easy as that. Okay? Good. So, now you've gone through a couple of cases. There's some videos that have gone around, so review them. Really, of all the videos, review the cases. Because we've given you that thought process and that flow to really go through to give you an idea of, okay, how do I sort of package this? Okay?
Just want to say one more thing with regards to using these assessments, just to give you a different way to use it than I explained at the beginning. In the therapeutic standpoint, when you have a patient come in, you can pick a couple assessments in order to prove what their pain is not. Come with neck pain, try to prove what it's not. With regards to working with athletes, the way I do it at my clinic, and he does it at his clinic, we've done together, is you can bring in a whole team, 20 athletes, you can break them off into groups, put them in different rooms, have 2 protocols per room, and you can go through a whole team in about an hour. So that's one way you can use these protocols and build a clientele and build a patient base and work with sports teams if that's what you want to do. Or if you're at a gym, you can put all of your clients through it all at once, and that way you have a direction that you want to go with everybody. So it's just another way that you can use this. You can approach a coach and say, listen, give me your top athlete, let me assess them for free. If you like what I do, maybe you'll send some more people to me. So it's a good way to market yourself and separate yourself from other people in the similar profession. And that's what people are starting to look for. Okay? So hopefully that helps with some marketing in regards to that as well. Other than that, I guess thanks for having us out. Hopefully appreciate it. It's a bit of a flight, and we do appreciate everybody coming out and spending the time. We know it's a lot of time for you guys, and money for the course and everything like that. So we do appreciate it. And if you have any questions, feel free to email us at our website. Our email address is just athleticmovementsassessment@gmail.com. We're DC
Appreciate it.